Hello and welcome back to Phoenix World Championship. We're welcoming you for race number 4 of the championship. We are approaching halfway point and we are at Virginia International Raceway, the American stop on our travel across the world, and a very interesting racing facility by itself, very self-policing track limits, and we have quite a few drivers today. We're looking at possibly 14 in total, at least those who expressed the will to participate. We'll see if all of them are going to be on track and certain times today, as we're currently going through the qualifying. We have 11 valid times. Currently Gunsis is in the lead with 1:33.930 and 6.5 minutes left until we conclude our qualifying. So far the drivers without the time are Miles in 224, Not James and Cap. So 3 drivers that we are still awaiting for. From what I see, all 3 of them are currently on track, I believe. At least I see Cap and Marzen. Not sure about James. Possibly he's on track somewhere with someone in traffic. Looks like only one car so far exited 134 range. I've seen Psychedelics go 133 in practice, so possibly that Mercedes will still have something in the bag come the end of the qualifying. But while we are awaiting results of the qualifying, we do actually have the results from previous races. We do have standings after round 3, which you can currently see on screen. And McLaren team in the lead by 19 points over Psychedelics. The Mercedes is in second place and the Midas occupies third spot. Obviously drop week is not yet applied, so that will all change. They have one drop week. You see the rest of the standings on your screen right now. Obviously all to play for, still 5 races to go, including this one, and still lots of battles here. And in team championship, where Racing Team Intel 1, comprising of Salt Cedar and McLaren team, are in the lead by 44, chased by PRT Black. PRT and Racing Team Intel occupying 2 top spots with 2 entries each, and obviously very competitive teams both of these are, and will be interesting to see where it leads in the end. Looks like Goods improved, and Autumn Racing is the second car that was able to crack 133s, 3.8, and then we see a large gap further down the road. So it'll be interesting to see who improves. Definitely more closer to 33s in practice, but obviously shorter time limit in qualifying, lots of pressure. So lots of mistakes, as we see Psychedelics and his next time lap. There's improvement, 34.6, but not enough of an improvement to jump further ahead. Neon Tiger back in his red Ferrari continues onwards, currently in 10th. Still awaiting for 3 cars in our timing tower. Looking at Marzen, he should be ending his lap right about now. There he is, coming out of the last turn in a white Martini Racing Porsche. Completing the lap and no time set, so another invalid lap time. Next up will be Cap, I believe. Looking for where he is on track. There he is. That's the back straight. So that's a skipping Madison Avenue chicane here, and onto the roller coaster over here, turns 14 and 14A. Coming out of the last set of corners and onto the start-finish straight via the hog ban. crossing the line, and looks like there is a time. Caps at 1:42.2, Marsden 3:18.1. So these are not representative times, but they are times. As for Not James, we see that car is still in pits, so I believe that's gonna be the only car that does not set a time up. Well, sorry anyway, as soon as I switched to him, he decided to have a spin himself. Yeah, so looks like unless he gets on track as soon as possible, he is not gonna be classified in this qualifying session, so that leaves us with 13 cars. With 2 minutes to go still. Okay, so looks like there are technical issues for James, so he is here, but he is unable to get into his car as of now, so looks like he'll be starting from the back of a grid. Marsden finally showed up at the proper timing board, 36.2, just a little bit behind Shaper in 11th, who is having himself a spin in the last turn. Neon Tiger, meanwhile, improves to 7th position, 35.4. Artem racing off the track, staying in 2nd position. Psychedelics, meanwhile, finishing his next timed lap. He'll need a massive improvement here, but there is no improvement. Final lap for everybody involved. We still have 1 minute on the clock, and it looks like Gunzes will get to the timing line before it expires. So still an opportunity for the Latvian to get a couple of laps done. This and the next one, but everybody else possibly will have Marsden, Atom, and Nimedes, possibly Saltcedar, who are now on the back straight, but everybody else is probably the final time lap. 34.7, a second slower than his fast time, so definitely difficult track to get it right. Very flowing, very unforgiving track regarding lap times. And in general, you see, everything that's not the racetrack is grass, so if you go out, you are gonna be spinning for quite a long time. 35.9 for Marsden. We have Shaper, Viperian, and Neon Tiger in pits. Saltcedar 34.7 before the time expired in 4th place. So we're gonna be tracking cars that are finishing. First gonna be Spitfire at the checkered flag. No, sorry, there is improvement, 35 flat, but no improvement position-wise. Next up, Cool K exiting the Hog Pen, 17 Alpha. And at the line, 35.5 was his time, and no improvement. Oh, there is an improvement, 35.4, very delayed, so he now improves to 4th position. Psychedelics seemingly did not improve, but the timing tower is not very responsive currently, so maybe something delayed, but looks like no. Psychedelics ends at 3rd place with 34.698. Framed Automotive decides to extend the track at the end, but no improvement to his time. Looking at Cap, 32.2, no improvement, and Gunzes gets onto the pit lane. We have Marsden, Nimedes, and Atom Racing, 3 cars that are still on track. Marsden is gonna be at the line first, loose out of the hog pen, and now with the final kink and crossing line 35.9 and 35.6 improves to 10th position. Next up, Nimedes, crossing line improves to 6th, and Atom Racing is in the pits, so no representative time at the end. Nimedes with great improvement towards the end, 6,000ths of a second faster than Spitfire, claiming 6th position. Looks like our grid is set. Gunzes and Atom Racing on top row, the undercars in 133 range. Then we have Psychedelic, Saltcedar, 2 Germans on the 2nd row, followed by Framed Automotive Nimedes. Spitfire and Cool K row 4, Neon Tiger Marsden row 5, Viperian and Shaper on row 6. Cap and Not James are gonna be routing out our grid on row number 7. That's 14 cars getting ready to go, and that's one Viperian being very interestingly placed there. So looks like technical problems continues for not James, so we'll see if he'll able to join us at the end of the grid or not. Not sure right now. We have 13 cars ready
Radio check for Mr. Grinder.
Ready to take the start. Here we have everything prepared for the race start. We see the safety car at the bottom, and we actually almost centered our attention to the only car that's currently on pit lane, not moving since the start of qualifying. I don't think it'll be moving. Still 1.5 minutes left before we go. Oh well, we'll see. And while we're waiting, I'm gonna take some support medicine. This race is proudly supported by... what the hell is this? Nemerov Caprinia. Nemerov Caprinia, proud supporter of your commentator today. They did not pay me to do this. Anyway, just under 1 minute to go. As usual, we have a single race this season. 60 minutes plus 1 lap will be on the clock. You'll see 63 minutes since we do have rolling starts. Safety car will take us around the track for a lap, and then it will proceed to go off track, and we'll resume normal procedures.
Checking again for Mr. Grinder.
So looks like they're trying to establish communication between the safety car and a race director. This is the addition we have for this year. We do have actual direct communications to race control. And as we are getting ready to go, we do have lights out, and the cars are rolling. 13 cars apart from not James starting, and under control from PRC safety car. We do have single file at the start, so everybody has time to warm up their rubber, get ready for the race, and prepare to go. And they will go single file towards the end of the lap, while our safety car retreats into the pits. Relatively chilly afternoon in the US. It's snowy on the ground, but due to series regulations, the outside track temperature is actually 15 degrees Celsius, if you can believe that, and very high winds, 11 kilometers per hour. For the plains, it's not stormy winds or anything, but still something to consider. As we are approaching number 11 and 12, the famous oak tree turn, now presented without the said oak tree, but instead Coca-Cola advertising, because we cannot have nice things, as cars are filing into double file formation. As we are getting ready to go, everybody nice and calm on the back straight, the longest straight, and we'll definitely see some opportunities here, especially since it heads directly into the roller coaster corner. Fast left into tight right, up the hill, very loose at the top of a crest. So
We go for a start.
looks like we are ready to go. Still yellows on the safety car, but go ahead given by race control. So we'll be waiting for greens, as safety car driver is also satisfied with the formation. We do have lights still yellow currently. And looks like we have a car in the pits. It looks like it's Cool K in the pits currently. And we do have greens. So we are ready to go. Everybody is lined up. And we're gonna start the race momentarily. 60 minutes plus 1 lap. Mandatory pit window between 40th and 20th minute. And away we go. Late start by Gunses, but good start. Atom Racing also definitely on the tail. No issues there. Gunses is very safe up top. Meanwhile, we do have a battle. Two wide, Framed Automotive and Nimedes, two orange cars still side by side. Into the NASCAR band they go. A little bit wide, but still within track limits. That's fine. Nimedes loses out the spot. Further down the road we have White Striper challenging Marzen for 8th position. Neon lost us a couple of spots at the start. But so far so good. We have a battle up top. Atom Racing is on the tail of Gunses as they head into the S's 7, 8, 9, 10. Before they head towards the Oak Tree. Cool K still in the pits. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but that was prior to the start of the race, so that car might as well be DNS at this point. We are on the back straight. Atom Racing is 3/10 behind. Gunses chasing down, but further down we have an actual train of cars chasing each other. That's gonna be Framed Automotive under fire, or maybe not. That's Spitfire just breezing past Nimedes. Very different setups as the Porsche just flies, and down the inside, two overtakes on one straight. Spitfire looking for the third one, forced wide, but protects his new acquired 5th position. Great straight line speed by Spitfire, who is now up in top 5. Great opportunistic moves by Nordfurther Motorsport, this time with their team liveries. Marzen lost out of position to Scheiper, meanwhile in 9th, and he is slow on the straight defending against Neon Tiger. Neon will have to go the long way around. He tries to do that Porsche looks like a handful. Spitfire meanwhile overtakes Saltseeder. Saltseeder having problems now fending off against Framed Automotive, but stays. Meanwhile Neon Tiger overtakes Marzen in turn 1, as we've seen the setup of that, but Spitfire is claiming 4th position and away he goes. The Russian is definitely on a mission to chase down the top 3. Oh, and we have a big crash! We have a big crash. That's Scheiper, and that's somebody else, I believe. I'm not sure. I think it's Nimedes. Yes, it's Nimedes. Big crash on our screens. Nimedes continues. Scheiper is very slow, down in the last position of those running, and looks like there's a lot of front-end damage for him. And Cap is off the road. Something has happened, and that's on the south bend and approach of Oak Tree, turns 10 and 11. He continues on without much harm. Top 3 is settling just 5. Meanwhile, Framed Automotive on the back of Saltseeder. These two are very close to each other, chasing down top 4. Or I guess not chasing down, since Spitfire just decided to check out completely. Good, 34.7, 34.9 from Atom Racing, so definitely very chill first couple of laps by the leaders. Spitfire 34.8, great lap by the Russian, who's chasing down Psychedelics 2.3. I believe the gap was 4 seconds or 3.5 seconds before that. So looks like nobody came into pits, everybody crossed the start-finish line already. So we continue as is, as White Striper elected to just rough it out. So looks like technical issues for Cool K as well, so that's 2 cars out of the race, or at least out of a race for now. They still have time to join and be classified. I don't think they'll be in any competition, but be classified with some points if they manage to return and jump back in. As we continue with 12 cars now. Looks like Atom Racing is slowly but surely catching back up. 1/10 gained on Gunses, so it's less than a second now. A Ferrari chasing a McLaren with 2 privateer entries, leading the race right now. And regarding their battles, they did have Atom Racing missed the first race, but for Gunses there was one bad result, so they find themselves further down than they would have liked. Atom Racing currently in 4th with 70 points, Gunses 6th, or split in 5th place with Not James at 67. Gunses obviously not classified for Surface Paradise at 0 points. That will be his drop week, and Atom's drop week will be his first that he did not race in. Meanwhile, Cap and White Sharper here. Now in 12th, Cap is loose and manages to avoid the wall in another instance of commentator's curse. You are very welcome. We proceed to look at our second place, Atom Racing, who continues on just 6 to 7 tenths behind our leader. Looks like they're matching each other's pace and slowly trying to get away from Psychedelics. Let's see who will be most consistent. I think at this point, early on, just 6 minutes into the race, consistency is way more important than just raw pace. Looks like Cool K is back on the road, at least trying to get back on the road. 3 laps down. So something is definitely not right, and it looks like it's back to pit. So something is happening, he's trying to get back, but it's not working out for now. So we still have 12 cars. We'll see if 13th car joins in the hunt for some points, or if that's gonna be calling it a day for the Indonesian. Very close to each other, the 2 cars entering the S's. There's no spot to overtake, but Atom Racing definitely better exit. And now he's on the tail of Gunses coming up to Oak Tree. And what comes in is the big straightaway. If Atom Racing gets a big overspeed into the straight, there is an opportunity to overtake, as we've seen before with Spitfire. Atom is on the tail, there's 1/10 between them. Will he dare go? He is looking left and right and left. And maybe looking, there's a bit of an overlap on the inside. Will he stick it out? Yes, he does. He dives in and completes the pass on Gunses. Brilliant late move by Atom Racing, and he is now the leader of this race. They were matching pace. I don't think Gunses will let it slide. He'll continue to hunt him down. Meanwhile, Psychedelics 2.9 back. He's not very much closing down, but who is closing down is Spitfire on Psychedelics. That car is very, very rapid at this time, and definitely willing to catch up to the podium places. We'll see the onboard from the Porsche. You see him improving over his personal best until that just a little bit loose you've seen out of left hook. That will spit you out before the 5, and you'll need to correct it before you can take the next turn. You see 2/10 lost there. Oh, how incredibly loose. The car almost jumps in the S's and jumps again. You see the time was lost a little bit as the driver was trying to contain the car over the jumps into the back straight. Loose, but manageable loose as he continues to hunt down Psychedelics. He does see the big black Mercedes, and he really wants some of it. Looks like Marzen and Viperian swapped places, and there's damage at the front of the Martini Porsche, so something happened to him at some point. And Viperian cruises by and continues on. That happened somewhere on the approach to the Oak Tree, I believe. Frame Automotive still chasing down Salt City. Still half a second between those two. I don't think the gap ever changed since the start of the race. It was half a second to a second chased down by Neon Tiger. And again, a 10th separates them in their lap times, as we are 10 minutes into this 1 hour race. You see framed a little bit loose, that orange Jägermeister entry, just a tiny bit wiggly in the rear, trying to contain itself. Currently residing in 8th position. That's 21 point behind Salzeder he's catching, and that's 3 to 4 points per position. So he definitely does want to end up behind Salzeder in the results, and he wants to stay as far ahead as possible. But with Nimedes' issue at the start of a race, he now finds himself 5 places back, and in the championship he is now in 3rd with 78, and his next rival is leading the race. So Nimedes will definitely want to recover some of that lost pace and lost positions and get as far ahead as possible. So at the 10-minute mark we see about the same thing. Everybody is very calm and collected if we compare it to previous race at Surface Paradise. Obviously fewer walls around you to make a mistake, but everybody is steadily going, still a 10th. Oh, sorry, a second between Artem Racing and Gunses. 35-4 for Gunses. Not the best of laps, and Artem now pulls a big gap with 34.5. The best lap for himself and for the entire race so far. 34.565 is the new fastest lap. Meanwhile, Spitfire still closing down slowly on Psychedelics. The gap was just under 1 second, now it grows to 1.1 as Psychedelics a little bit faster in this first half. But as we've seen, a little bit grass mowing by Spitfire. As we've seen, that Porsche is an absolute rocket ship at the straight line. So if he is able to hang on until the oak tree, through the Madison Avenue and back straight, he is gaining a lot of time. And if he stays on the back of a car when he catches up, all he needs is to stay back and stay close. And that's almost a guaranteed overtake from what we've seen before. And I believe we see the leaders catching up to Cap now. We see a long stretch of racetrack. Very cool to see cars in different locations but still on one screen. You see 0.9, 0.8. So it was 1.2 as they entered the straight. It's 0.7 when they leave it. So half a second gained by that monstrous Porsche on the straightaway. See if he can just stay there for the rest of a lap. And Psychedelics made a mistake. I was thinking he was going to pits for something, but no, he stayed just on the inside, so probably loose. And that's a change for position, for the podium position. Spitfire goes ahead after a mistake from a usually calm and collected German. Interesting to see. So now it's the other way around. That's Psychedelics better in the first part. That's Cap getting out of the way of everybody, or getting out of the way of Spitfire and annoying Psychedelics a little bit, but he's within his right to do so. Blue flags do not mandate the driver to get out of the way. So Cap is doing his best to navigate as well as possible. It did cost Psychedelics about a second there. That miscommunication a little bit, but nothing to say for Cap here. That's just how it goes. And now the German lost time in the part of a track he was better acquainted to. With Spitfire 4.2, we'll see how he challenges the top two. These are Ferrari, so probably more straight line speed than the Mercedes, but probably still less than that rocket ship of a Porsche. So definitely interesting to see how that one develops. Meanwhile, at the edge of top 5 still Salzeder, now chasing down his sister team car of Cap, about to lap. Not the fastest of laps, and you see that wiggle gets him on the grass, and that means the car behind Framed Automotive is looking to pass. He passes Cap, now seizes up. Oh, there is a late move, but still plenty of space left. There is a Porsche versus Ferrari. The Porsche on the inside, 007, leaves no room for a crossover, and that's Framed Automotive up in 5th position. Just the slightest mistake, as you've seen. Salzeder just a bit of a wobble that forced him out in the grass, and that's the entire straight compromised. Still willing to go on the counter-attack, and we've seen Frame.1 made a mistake back. The same wiggle that gets you wide. Salcido got very close and uncomfortable, and well, basically mind-punted Frame.Automotive out of the way. And that orange Jägermeister is right back where it started, chasing down the Intel Ferrari. Oh, there's another mistake. Salcido and Frame.Automotive trade mistakes. There was a corner cut. We'll see how stewards react to that. Never mind. 55 decided to just explore all the track limits, and that means Neon Tiger caught up and passed two cars that were too busy leaving the track. So that's 6th place for Neon Tiger. Salcido drops 2 spots in a swift one go at the oak tree. So we'll see if Salcido will get to any improvement, and as we've seen, Nimed is still stuck in 10th place for now, but Salcido drops further down to him rather than Nimed is climbing up to Salcido. They do have a rivalry amongst themselves, so very interested to see how that will develop as we close down on our pit window, which will open when the countdown clock at the top left strikes 40 minutes, and will close when it's 20 to go. So you have 20 minutes to get into the pit lane, and reminder of the rules: as long as you cross the pit entry line, by the time it's 20 minutes left, you are allowed to complete your stop. So if you get on the pit lane, you're fine. However, as soon as you get onto the pit lane, you must make a pit stop. If you don't, you will be disqualified as soon as you exit the pit road. And every car without a mandatory stop, by the time clock strikes 20 minutes to go, that's an automatic disqualification. Neon Tiger also a little bit off the track. Looks like turn 10 is a little bit of a culprit. We've seen all 3 of the cars on your screen currently making mistakes there. So we'll be interested to see long term if that will catch anybody out more than a second or so. As we're in winter season, you can see that we are slowly heading towards evening. You can see the lights of the cars being used, still pretty bright, but obviously very overcast in Virginia today, and can I say gloomy? The weather looks gloomy here. All 3 cars in 35s, pretty stable. In the lead me now, Gunses is losing a little bit of pace to Atom, 3.3 now, it was 2.4. Gunses set 34.5, same as Spitfire, but Atom Racing pulled out a 34.307 out of the bag, and now leads by 3.5 seconds. 3 more seconds separating Gunses and Spitfire. You've seen the static camera there. Gunses passed and nothing was behind Sacrilex. Further 3 seconds down, and then Framed, Automotive, Neon Tiger and Salcido, that trio. These cars are relatively spread out. You see the top 4 on your screen, shall I say, as Atom Racing is catching up on lap traffic, I believe, already past lap traffic. Yeah, I believe that's lap traffic. That's Scheiper, also off the track at the roller coaster. Rejoins behind 2 leaders and now gets off the track for his teammate. And now finally solidly back on track. You see he's still carrying damage from that early incident. Obviously has to wait for 1 more lap before he can dive onto the pit road. 34.7 for Spitfire, who gains a little bit on both Atom Racing and Gunses, as we do have a battle brewing for 6th position. That's Salcido catching back up to Neon Tiger, and we are on board as we still have 1 minute. So before the pit window starts, probably a good time to let you enjoy this battle without me blabbering as we go to pure sound. Scheiper is the first car on pit road, obvious with the damaged car he had at the start. Looking at the windscreen, everything was fixed and he is now back on track as our pit road opens. We've seen overtake of Saltseeder on Neon, but now Neon on top again, so Saltseeder decides to overtake a person and have a mistake immediately afterwards. That seems to be the MO so far. Oh, we have an issue! That's Gunses and Spitfire off the road! In a spectacular fashion, both cars are off. Gunses rejoins. Spitfire trying to rejoin as well. I'm not sure what happened as I was looking away. I believe Spitfire managed to delay the braking a little bit too far. The cars continue relatively okay front end damage for Spitfire, and I think we will see some rear end damage for Gunses if that's the case. But obviously lost time, and yes, rear end damage, so looks like that was just a rear ender by Spitfire, and that allows Psychedelics to gain second position and almost gifts Atom Racing the race, as he's now 10 seconds clear of everyone. So unless something happens to him, that looks like his race to lose. We'll see if any of the two are going to the pits for repairs immediately at the end of a lap. They missed the pit road the first time around. Maybe they thought that was okay, or considering if the damage is worth it, but so far they proceed as is. We see the battle scars of Neomedis as he continues miles and dives onto the pit road. That second car to go into the pits. Neomedis for now in clear air. Neon Tiger slowly catching up to Framed Automotive. Good laps for Neon Tiger. The American fighting a little bit of pace, 35.3. And getting away from Saltseeder. So this trio is back together. And we are slowly but surely approaching the halfway mark of the race. Miles in pits. White Scheiper has been in the pits, and we still have 10 cars that haven't gotten their mandatory stop yet, including our race leader. 34.8 by Psychedelics. Good lap. His best was 34.7. Still no approval for fastest laps for any of the leaders, so they are going for consistency rather than pure pace. Atom Racing comfortable lead, so probably wants to keep it above 10 seconds if possible, as he's gotten a 10-second penalty in Dubai for his formation lap antics. But I don't think he's been in any incidents in the race, so that's been a clean one so far for Atom, which enabled him to stay up top. We still witness the battle for 5th position, the three-way battle. That's Scheiper after the pits overtakes Cap. Cap is slowly going to the pits. And that's the third car on pit road. So 9 contenders to go. From this position, I'm looking at either Neon or Saltseeder blinking first and going to the pits. We've seen a couple of entries that are just split in half and half, so that means they should come in 2-3 laps. But tactically, if Saltseeder wants to jump someone, he'll need to be the first one on pit road. But still, 1.5 seconds, that's a lot of time to jump. You see Psychedelics, 34.6, as I said last lap, he didn't improve on his best. He decided to immediately challenge me and closing the gap to Atom down to under 10 seconds with 34.6. Best lap for himself, obviously. So everybody continues for now. Cap leaving the pit road in a bit of clear air. 15 seconds down will be Viperian. Well, a lap up, but physically 15 seconds down. And looking at the gaps, everybody is relatively on their own for now. And if we disregard this trio we're looking at, next one will be Spitfire, 3.5 seconds back of Gunses, but it looks like he lost time. That was 2.5, I believe, when they recovered from their issue. We'll definitely see what's going on there. Meanwhile, the middle trio compressed again. 1 second between the two. It was 2 and 1.5. So looks like it's a battle of mistakes still for these three. Interesting to see. While leaders just trade fast laps, this trio is trading mistakes. Continue onwards, 33 minutes. So whoever is splitting the race in halves should be coming into pits very shortly. And we'll see that's gap off the road in turn 12 at the oak tree, continues onwards. And he is almost a whole lap down in Whitechapel, so definitely not a good race for Cap. Car is still seemingly very loose for him. But he soldiers on, points for his team, and he'll be the only scoring car for Racing Team until 2, as Not James was unable to start the race. Spitfire off the road, that's a development. There he is, and there are his chasers. That's the 007, the trio we were talking about. Now Spitfire falls behind Framed Automotive, still challenging, but Frame completes the pass. And still loose, Spitfire loose again off the road, and now in the path of Neon Tiger. Neon Tiger has to slam the brakes and leaves and avoids the wall barely. But that's a big issue. Neon Tiger rejoins very slowly. Nemaitis in the pits. Spitfire back in place of Neon Tiger, I would guess, but we'll definitely see what the stewards have to say about that rejoin. Very unfortunate timing for Spitfire and lost positions. That car is very fast but very loose, it looks like. North Feathers Motorsport continues. Nemaitis, fourth car in the pits. Let's see where he rejoins. Was in 10th position. Now Marzen passes and now goes Nemaitis. Marzen has pitted. So that is alive, and Spitfire off the road again. After such a great start, Nightmare continues for the 271 Porsche, and he dives straight onto the pit road. Something happened, and he is into the pits immediately. But that's a ton of lost spots. Viperian goes by, so he finds himself in real 7th place after all of that. Could have been front end damage, the one suffered in the very first contact with Gunses that altered the handling. The front end is incredibly important in these cars, and that could have caused further problems. But he definitely broke apart the trio we had, so now Salt Cedar is 3.2 behind Framed. Neon Tiger is 9.5 even back, so that's definitely good. So, well, Salt Cedar might get close if he continues to get out in the grass in turn 10 like that. But we are half and half. We do have now Spitfire, Marzen, Nemaitis, Whitechapel, and Cap joining the pit road. Framed reminds Nemaitis that he should get out of the way, and Nemaitis does so. So 5 cars in the pits, 7 more to go. 10 minutes go of open pit road, and there goes Gunses. That's 6 left, as Gunses is the first of leaders to blink. Obviously he had some damage, rear end damage after the collision with Spitfire, and he will definitely need to get that in check, but we'll switch off as the camera work is less than supreme by a camera operator. He probably was also supported by that Caprinia I'm enjoying currently. Neon Tiger in the pits as well, and looks like Nemaitis is back into the pits. I'm not sure what happened there, but Nemaitis in the pits for the second time. As Gunses continues in 6th spot, Neon Tiger parks. We'll have to wait and see what happened to Nemaitis there. Not sure exactly, but that's a little bit unexpected and definitely a race to forget for the Dane. Great start to the season for him, but that's looks like it's his drop week sorted right here, right now. Nemades drops to 11th position. Neon Tiger rejoins in 8th. And we have Autumn Racing, as I say that, Autumn Racing, our race leader, is in the pits. So Psychedelics, Framed Automotive, Saltseeder, and Viperian are the cars that haven't pitted yet. As I say that, Psychedelics also dives down on pit road as soon as halfway point completed. So it's top 2. Framed will be the next car on pit road, as we see the Mercedes cruising by. So this is where the 007 is on a start finish, and he'll probably inherit the race lead for a lap or two. So the orange Jägermeister Porsche entry is now the race leader. Saltseeder in the pits as well, and Framed remains the only car that has not pitted yet. So looks like the tire wear is somewhat of an issue at this track. Almost nobody out of the 12 car field decided to wait past halfway marker to swap the tires. Interesting development. Atom Racing will be the net leader. Psychedelics 11 seconds back. Oh, Viperian hasn't pitted yet as well. Haven't. Yeah, I kind of forgot that one, as he's now being chased by Gunsis and one pit stop between them. I will severely doubt Viperian will put up any meaningful fight if there needs to be. He values his race probably over whatever battle there could be. Obviously no meaningful battle here, as there is a whole pit stop between them. So that's gonna be Gunsis a couple of seconds back on as soon as I say that, Gunsis decides to have an off track. That's towards the commentator's curse. One more. He decides to have an off track and now finds himself 4 seconds back of Psychedelics. So a little bit better on pit road for Gunsis. A little bit closer to Psych than he was, so maybe he still has 25 minutes to catch back up. Plenty of opportunities to do so. 6.5 minutes we have Framed and Viperian not stopping yet. Looking at Viperian, he's gonna slot close to Neon Tiger. Somewhere between Neon and Marzen, I believe so. So maybe with Neon's misadventures, it will be good for him to get some pace down, wait for a couple of mistakes and rejoin as close as possible to maybe continue on. Looking at Viperian, 36.9 his current lap time. His best is 35.3, so not the best of laps. We'll see the time of Neon Tiger further down the road to compare. But Kiwi finds himself in preliminary 4th position. He's not exactly having the best of days. Saltseeder 38.9, so what's even worse than that? This. 36 flat from Spitfire, and Neon Tiger will be the next to cross the line. And I really want to see the time to compare. Looks like time's dropped overall. 140.6, so a mistake from Neon Tiger somewhere. So maybe a good decision by Viperian. He's much slower than his best. And never mind. Another one for the commentator's curse, as Gunsis completes one of the easiest overtakes in his life. And it goes ahead of Viperian. Another one for South Bend. Turn 10 is completely unforgivable today. It comes after a slight jump over the crest of 9. So the car is loose and looks like it keeps catching people off guard. Framed Automotive now on pit road. Let's see where he rejoins. That's penultimate car that is yet to stop. He'll spend about 20 seconds stationary and some time rejoining. For now, Psychedelics breezes by. Next up will be Gunsis, Viperian. We're gonna be looking at Saltseeders, so they're gonna be... Oh, there we go. Viperian is in the pits, so the final car in the pits now. Let's see if that mistake cost him position against Neon Tiger. I don't think so, but possible. Meanwhile, Saltseeder driving by. Let's see where Framed is. Framed is ahead. Framed has crossed the lines. Looks like Saltseeder had quite a bit of issues in that pit window, and now he finds himself, let's see how many, 3.5 seconds down on Framed. Let's see how it continues. Viperian for now. There is Neon Tiger and Whitechapel letting him by. There is Tiger, there is Viperian, and oh, so close, you see the gap, 2:15 with a bit. If that was a clean lap by a second, it wouldn't have been an overtake, but it would have been close. Viperian finds himself in 8th, but within the grasp of top 7. Definitely interesting to see how it continues. Oh, there's another crash for Spitfire. That Porsche is very fast but very loose. That is turn 6 into the snake, and now he finds Neon Tiger and Viperian right behind him. And he's gonna be slow throughout this entire straight with the Ferrari catching up. So 1.5 seconds now, but that car is not feeling especially well. 2:71. Great time, not a great result. His best 34.5. And into the wall again hard! Into the wall again hard for 2:71, and it looks like it might be done. That car is completely stationary. Trying to get going again. Oh no, I think we're done. I think that car is beyond broke. And with 22 minutes to go, he needs to fix it and get back on track to get any points out of this. That's a very hard secondary impact with the rear. And that Porsche is definitely having an interesting night. 34.5 his fastest, 2/10 out of a leader. But so many issues, and Virginia International, no versions here. Virginia International Raceway catching him off guard so many times that, well, the fast lap did not matter at all. For now, 1 second between Viperian and Neon Tiger, so Viperian caught up to Neon. So possibly more opportunities to overtake there. Further up the road we have Gunses and Framed within a second of each other. So the orange Porsche will definitely try to have a go. And we'll see if that leads to something. We see South Cedar just 4 seconds down. That's half a straight. So if something happens there... Oh, Porsche is looking! Framed is going on the inside, and Gunses does not battle at all. So that's 007 into the podium position. Framed Automotive in 3rd place. Gunses finds himself in 4th. There's Salt Cedar a little bit further down the road. But that's a clean overtake on the back straight. Porsche is still incredibly fast on a straight line. I see Spitfire is back on track in 11th, ahead of Cap. The car looking a little bit fixed, and that's why Gunses is so far back. 151.9. So definitely something happened. Oh no, it's another issue for Gunses. Spinning out in turn 1 and rejoining after the horseshoe and behind South Cedar. So McLaren is another car that's being caught out by this track. Almost everybody is falling victim to that unpredictable track. So definitely start to be difficult. I said at the start that it's more of a calm and collected procession. Come the end of a race, it's anything but that. The drivers are making mistakes left, right and center at the tracks. Looks like short-term pace was good, but the race pace makes sure tires expire fast, drivers expire fast, and mistakes galore. Neon Tiger pulls away just a tiny little bit. That's Scheibe behind them. That's a lap between. And now pits are officially closed. Everybody made their stops. And we continue on with 20 minutes to go as Gunses is here trying to chase down South Cedar. He gave away position to 34.2 from Psychedelics. That's the new fastest lap of the race, 34.259. As he continues his crusade to chase the race leader, you see Gunses had to lift again at turn number 16. And compromised his lap time a little bit. And obviously the lap time is going to be real bad. Yeah, 5 seconds given up in turn 1. Difficult track and relatively icy grass, snowy icy grass, so that's probably not helping if you decide to dip your wheel out. And the drivers are kind of used to, you know, dipping the wheels out on entry and exit with paved circuits. You absolutely cannot do that. Once your tire is on the grass, you're spinning. So that's something they have to adjust to. They have to drive it differently and have to treat white walls, white lines, seriously, basically like walls. You cannot go beyond them without compromising yourself. It's probably not as immediate of a punishment as the wall, but it's still definitely a big problem. 1.5 between Saltseeder and Gunter. Gunter is slightly faster. If he doesn't make many mistakes, he'll be able to catch up. They're 5 seconds back on Framed Automotive. So that's a bit of lost time, but Framed is not looking to slow down. At 35 flat, he's been really consistent at this point in the race. That's what you need, really. With everybody making mistakes around you, you just need to be consistent. And that's what gave him. And, well, fast helps as well. 34.6. He gets fastest lap for himself. And a second faster than Saltseeder getting away. Goods is slowly catching up, but still some gap between them. 1.2 seconds with 18 minutes to go. Yes, being fast definitely helps. He is still struggling in 9th position. I think he's in no man's land after his extra stop. He could have challenged Martin there, but still nothing. Viperian 38.3 loses ground to Neon Tiger a tiny bit. 4 seconds between them now. But in the battle for the lead, Sakada's got one fast lap, but no more it looks like, as Artem gained another second on him. Now the gap is 12.2. Very solid gap, and we continue on. As everybody's trying to settle down, we're trying to figure out what the last minute battles be, and if there will be any last minute battles. Probably a good time to enjoy the sound of the McLaren 650S GT3 without being trapped without pure sound. as such, we have completed our view of American countryside, courtesy of Gunsis, who decided to see all the off-tracks VIR has to offer, and we have the Porsche 271 in the wall again and in the pits again. What started as a great opportunity descended very fast for Spitfire, finds himself in 11th, and we'll see if Cap is able to get around him while the issues are being fixed as well. Neon Tiger found himself off the road. I'm trying to figure out where it is. That's gonna be the end of the track towards the roller coaster, and then makes Viperian catch right back up, and there is a second between them, even less than that. One mistake and we're back. Looks like Spitfire might be done for the day. And dive down the inside for Viperian, hard on the brakes and continues on. Looks like he missed his braking spot or something happened there. The camera was relatively low to see what exactly happened, but interesting moment there. The gap grew as Viperian almost came to a complete stop there. He attempted to move, but it didn't work out, obviously. Still, the gap is not too big between those two. We'll see if that still matters in 12 minutes. Guns is 2 seconds back on Saltseeder. Saltseeder also having a little bit of an issue, despite Guns is exploring the countryside. That Kraken Privateer McLaren continues to chase down top 4. That's probably this, and Neon Tiger and Viperian probably are 2 close battles remaining, as everybody had their share of mishaps and stringing out across the track. They do have framed automotive relatively close. It's 8 seconds, so one big mistake, and that might bite one of these guys. So definitely still have to be careful, especially on this track, which can bite real hard, real fast. 10 minutes to go in the meantime. Last 10 minutes of the race are going to be starting soon. Pretty safe at the top of the race. Atom racing all by himself. 13 seconds in the lead. And get the lap after lap. 35 flat. That's half a second slower than his best, but absolutely good enough given his gap. We'll stay on board for a while, see how the leader completes this track. Now going through left hook, the turn 5 right-hander into the snake at 6 and 6A. And Engston on the front straight into turns 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll see the car losing traction for a little bit. There is the 9, there is the 10. South bend, losing traction a lot into the south bend. Then 11, 12 around the X oak tree. A little bit wide, but that's probably okay for him. On the back straight past Madison Avenue. And across the crest and into the roller coaster, turns 14, 14A. Hard on the brakes. And out into 15, 16, 17, 3 left-handers, and into 17A at the hog bend here. Real hard drop, exiting the start-finish, and onto the main straight and the start-finish line. So that's a lap with our race leader. 34.8, again out of 35s. Gunsis finds himself 5 seconds back, so something happened again. That McLaren seems to be addicted to the grass. I didn't say anything. And we continue on with the battle for 6th place. 1.2 seconds between Neon Tiger and Viperian. They're trading faster and slower laps. So small mistakes for both drivers are a name of a game towards the end of a race between them. And there is... oh, never mind, that's Cap. I thought Neon Tiger made another mistake, but that's Ferrari. That's currently residing in 11th place, letting everybody by, getting out of the way as much as possible. And there is Scheiper, who is in 10th, but still laps ahead of Cap. Yes, looks like Spitfire is done. We'll have to calculate later how many laps he completed and how many laps the leader did, regarding if he's gonna get classified or not. Reminder that you need to complete 75% of the laps of a leader, rounded down, to be classified. It looks like we're gonna be close to 40 laps, just under 40 laps, so 36, 37. At 40 laps, obviously you need to complete 30 to be classified, and so on, so forth. Spitfire completed... let's see, Spitfire has completed 28 laps from what I see. So that means the leader has to go no further than, let's see, 37 or 38. So 38, that's gonna be 28. So yeah, no more than 38 laps. So 4 laps with 8 minutes. We got 3.2 laps, so we're looking at possibly 4 or 5. I'm gonna guess it's very close. If it's 39, it's no good. If it's 38, he's getting points, I believe. So the pace of our race leader will definitely decide if 12th place will pay out points today. And if I'm Spitfire, I'm furiously calling that privateer Ferrari, telling it to slow the heck down, at least by about 10 seconds. But I'm pretty sure that call will be unanswered, as Atom Racing is not willing to slow down at all today. As soon as he gained the lead, he just breezed away and never looked back. Great performance so far. I have to add so far, as we still have 6 minutes to go, and Commentator's Curse has been working just flawlessly today. So I do not want to say anything before the checkered flag waves over the head of our race leader. 36.7 for Neon, 36.1 for Viperian, slowing down, but Viperian is more consistent and faster if he's not making mistakes. 2 seconds between them. It's been 1 to 2 seconds. They've been trading laps this whole time. Guns is now 8 seconds back, so definitely the Latvian decided to probably chill out, and he probably accepted his 5th spot, or he's pushing and making more mistakes, one or the other. I'm not sure which exactly, so we'll wait and see. But for now, he ends up in no man's land. Salcido is losing track of Framed, who's safely in 3rd for now. So top 3 are pretty far divided. Our leader is currently nearing South Bend. 2nd place is coming out of a snake. And 3rd place is approaching the horseshoe turn 1. So that's the gaps between them. And obviously you have 6 and 7 here, which would be just ahead of the leader. They are into the horseshoe. The leader is just entering the back straight. So that's where we are towards the end of a race. I don't think the leader will catch them. It's 1 to 2 seconds a lap. It's probably not a lot. White Shopper is in front of Atom Racing as well currently, so probably he's going to be extra cautious with 4.5 minutes to go plus 1 lap. 37 flat versus essentially 36 flat for Neon and Viperian. So Viperian back within a second. If he's able to hold on, that Mercedes might have something to say about the 6th position come back straight. They have 0 competition around them, as Marzen is half a minute back. And looks like he is off track, and I'm trying to see where he is. That's the last turn. That's out of Hawkban. Continues on, lost some time, but he's in a bit of a no man's land, so it's absolutely fine position-wise for the 22 Porsche. Gap grows to 13.5 between our 2 leaders, so Atom Racing shows no signs of stopping for now. 37.3 for Framed Automotive. Bad lap, but he has a gap to allow himself a little bit of a safe approach. Half a second between Neon and Viperian. Viperian in the draft, closing down. But they're a little bit too close to the roller coaster to attempt to move now. So he has to settle back with 2 tenths between them and wait for another lap. If he stays back, if he stays in dirty air but manages to keep that gap, we might see an overtake coming towards the end of a race. That's for 6th position, I remind you. Everybody else pretty far away from each other. Next closest will be Gunz at 6 seconds to Saltseeder, that's for P4. But we're gonna be spectating this battle. You see as soon as he gets close, another loose moment for Hyperion, and he lost another half a second. That's coming out of a horseshoe. The widening turn. So if you get loose in the first half, instead of trekking out and gaining speed, you're losing speed trying to save the car. Obviously that's very important on the run towards the NASCAR bend. So looking at 2 minutes, I'm looking at where leader is. He's currently behind these two. He's now approaching 7, 8, 9. So looks like it will be 2 more laps for the leader, as he's not gonna cross the line anytime soon. And we're looking at 2.5 more laps for everybody involved in this battle. So not gonna be an opportunity here. 2 more opportunities for Viperian to get the pass done. See, he's closing in well on the Ferrari. He does have the straight line speed to get the pass done. He just needs to be close enough as they exit the oak tree turn. Continuing on, we have Autumn Racing in the lead, Psychedelic 2nd, Framed Automotive 3rd, Saltseeder 4th, Gunz is 5th, and this battle for 6th position between Neon Tiger and Viperian. Marzen comfortably in 8th, Nimedas after his 2nd stop in 9th, Whiteshiper in 10th, Cap a few laps down in 11th, and Spitfire in the pits, not able to finish the race. Great start from Spitfire, but then a few crashes completely destroyed his vehicle and rendered it undrivable. So we go back to this duo, into the S's, or rather the Snake as they call it. That's 6 and 6A, 7, 8, 9, but still you see the gap 0.6. Definitely Viperian would want to keep it at 0.2, 0.3 tenths of a second if he wants to attempt the pass here. He needs to take a little bit more chance. You see different lines, and that helps Neon to get on the throttle a little bit faster. They have 5 tenths between them. It's gonna close down, but it's about the same as it was the last lap. So if I'm Neon Tiger, I know I have some room to work with. He's defending though. He's moving towards the middle, 0.3 at the braking point. Still 1 more lap to go. The time has expired. The leader will go onto the final lap at the end of this lap, and the leader is right behind them. You see the yellow car that's right in the corner there, up top. That's our leader. That means 2 more opportunities. 2 more opportunities for those guys. The leader has complete lap number 39, which means I believe it's going to be no qualification for Spitfire, just 1 lap short. We're definitely going to have confirmation later on, but for now it looks like Spitfire is a little bit too short on laps to classify at the end of a race. Final lap for the leader, but still 2 laps to go for this duo. 1 second between them, a little bit faster for Neon Tiger in the first half of the track will definitely help him defend. Viperian does not need to attack here, he needs to get close. He has exactly 1 lap to get close. And something happened here. Looks like the car was loose or just not cooperating. And it looks like Viperian lost out a lot. Almost worth 2 seconds there. I'm not sure what happened. The car just slowed down towards the apex. Maybe a missed shift for the Mercedes, but looks like that settles that battle. And Viperion will need to hope for a mistake from Neon Tiger. Neon hasn't been making much since he's been engaged in that battle. So we'll see how that continues. Meanwhile, right behind them, we do have a yellow Ferrari that barely put a foot wrong this entire race. Starting from a front row, completing the overtake and claiming the victory in the 4th round of Phoenix World Championship Autumn Racing from Russia is your race winner at Virginia International Raceway. Absolutely brilliant performance by that Ferrari. Great result and definitely some celebration ahead. Psychedelics, great result in 2nd. Managed to avoid problems and finish ahead of the competition, and definitely will help in the overall championship, catching up to McLaren team, who is skipping this race, and that's going to be his drop week. Framed Automotive, a bit of issues, but fast machine, secured crucial pass on South Cedar, and finds himself on the 3rd step of the podium. The orange Jägermeister car is 3rd. South Cedar, early problems, but still clawed to 4th. Gunses definitely had pace, but from the lead down to P5, disappointing race for the Latvian, as he's already burned his his drop week, the word I was looking for. So that result will definitely sting in the overall championship. Meanwhile, 6th and 7th, Neon Tiger and Viperion, 2 cars to finish the race. There's going to be Cup in front of them, a few laps down in 11th, Watson 8th, Nemidas 9th, Whitechapel 10th, but Neon Tiger claims 6th position, ahead of Viperion, who was close but just not enough, and settles for 7th place. So that's race 4 done. You see our leader, or winner I should say already, Autumn Racing, slowly complete his return lap with a little bit of celebration. Finds himself a nice spot for some victory donuts for the 37. Well deserved donuts, and some grass mowing as well. Great win for the 37. Great race overall, and eventually he'll find his way back to pits. Hopefully doesn't kill the marshal he was drifting right next to in the process. And I bet those rears are not having the best time of their lives. So while that continues, we should probably grab a few people to talk to. Let's see who we can talk to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yep. And the first driver we have here is Nemidas. A race of, I guess, recovery for you?
Yeah, I would probably call it a race of frustration. That didn't go as planned. There was a small incident, and then, yeah, I tried to just go with it, try and manage the damage I had. Basically no rear and front wing on this fast track, so that was fun. And then after the first pit, somehow I got Kunosed, and I checked off to repair body damage, but it just didn't, so I had to pit again. So that was fun.
And tell us more about the starting incident. We've seen you and Shaper head into the different walls. So what happened there?
Yeah, well, I don't know, to be honest. I also even didn't know who it was. But from my point of view, I was a little bit slow because of the car in front. The McLaren is really fast in those corners. And yeah, I just slowed down a little, and I think the guy behind saw an opening that really wasn't there, because the track kind of narrowed down in those corners. And yeah, the rest happened.
All right, well, that's a bit disappointing, but you do have the drop week, and overall in the championship so far it's going relatively well for you, I should say. So, do you have any hopes overall, any targets for the championship?
Nah, I don't really have any targets. I'm just trying my best, to be honest. I'm actually putting a lot of practice and setup time into this series, to try and manage a proper position, after I have been promoted to I'll, I don't know, first year driver. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, first division is the name. So I'm trying to do my best to do the team proud, so to speak.
All right, well, good luck to you in the next race next week, and hope to see you closer to the podium position next time.
Thank you very much. Me too.
Okay, let's see. Who else do we not have an opportunity to talk to very much? But today was in the eye of a camera a lot. Neon Tiger, can you hear me?
Yep.
So, an event-filled race for you. So early on, a little bit of an error, I believe, on lap one, but then you've been a part of quite a few incidents throughout the race. Is that so?
Yeah. I don't think I really caused any of them, so it's just kind of my bad luck rearing its head again, and just mistakes and all those fun things. Not much I can do about it right now. Definitely not. Definitely not too thrilled about some of the things that happened, but it is what it is at this point.
So it looks like the Ferrari under you was a little bit more tame compared to the first couple of races. Did you find something in the setups or just the track suits you more? Or
Track suits me more. Yeah, definitely the track. This is one where I'm very comfortable with the way, the kind of the rhythm and the flow that you have to get through the corners and whatnot. And so, I'm just kind of able to know, okay, I got to brake here. This corner is, you take it this way, and braking zone and all of that. I did make a couple of small adjustments at the start of the race, just to kind of, well, after practice, just to kind of get the car to go a little faster, a little bit less downforce in the rear, and just kind of adjusting lines and all that to make it as precise as I could. But that first incident was kind of a real race killer for me, unfortunately, and I was always kind of trying to crawl back from that. But I guess I'd rather not run somebody over than run somebody over and get in trouble for that, and get the car damage and all that too. So just kind of a unfortunate. I think we could have been up there competing for the top five, maybe even the podium. We definitely had some pace on frames in the Porsche, in the more technical parts. That 911 was ridiculously fast on the straights, but yeah, it's one of those things. We'll take sixth. Could have been probably better, but we'll do the best we can.
all right, good luck to you in the next race, and hopefully see you in a week.
Yep.
All right, someone who found himself on the podium place this week after some difficult start. Do you hear us?
Yes. Hi.
So
Yeah.
definitely an exciting race for you, and that Porsche had a lot of pace, right?
Yeah, it was actually I had a decent setup this time, and I had a lot of practice last weekend, so it was a little better than the last races, for sure. And yeah, if it gets a little properly set up, yeah, it's way better on track. Yeah.
So it looks like you and Saltseeder in particular, in the middle of a race, had a bit of a competition of who would leave the track the most, losing the position to each other. Is that something just tiredness in the race? So I made a guess that tires were probably gone since nobody decided to go full 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was both probably. Like we had a little bit of a thing at the start, obviously, and yeah, we didn't like. I think everyone made a mistake like once a lap, and the tires obviously weren't as good as the start anyway. And yeah, we both had, I think, basically the same strategy with going late for tires. And yeah, I think that's just what made us do that.
Alright, so looking at the next race, just in a week, that's gonna be back to Europe, Autodrome Most. Do you have any idea about the track? Have you
I don't
checked
have
it?
any idea. I think I needed a lot of practice for this one because I don't know a lot of it. Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of practicing this week, I think.
Okay, well, good luck to you and congratulations with the podium.
Thank you.
Let's see who else we can grab. See if we can grab another person we don't usually hear from. Spitfire?
No, hello.
Hello, hello. And very bipolar race from your Porsche, shall I say. You had an insane pace, but what's with the wall meetings? Did something happen?
Basically, yeah, I can explain. It's just the tires. I was speaking to Psychedelics right now about the tire management, and I did figure it out that for some reason Porsche was pretty good with filling the tires, but still I had issues because, well, I barely had any practice with car just the day before. I just built the setup and started to fill it a little, and when I actually came to the point where the tire started to lose traction, the car just started spinning a little bit more than I was hoping for, and I started to get messy. And basically what happened at the second part of the race is that I run the Logitech steering wheel and the old one, and it had desynced. Just basically right from the last spin I had a desync, and I was forced to go to pits and reconnect it manually. I know Martin had the same issues at the previous seasons, so that's kind of not surprised, I guess. But anyways, the car was great. I had so much fun from the race, and especially from the first several laps, I was very happy that I managed not to crash. Well, kind of like that.
Alright, and next week, Autodrome Most. Put any laps yet, or still ahead of you?
I'm planning to, but I never driven that track before, so I'm a little bit frightened. But we'll see. The Porsche is great. I understood that the car is actually much better than it was advertised at the start of the season. Well, my favorite part is that actually drivable without traction control. So kind of. I don't know. Maybe if I'll be more consistent, maybe something happened. But I still think I'm gonna end up somewhere at 8th or 6th place, like usually.
Alright, well, good luck to you, and hope to see you closer to the top of the pack.
Thank you.
Alright, I think that's gonna be it for us for today. We've had a few people who usually don't show up for the interviews, but yeah, next week, February 11th, Autodrome Most in Czech Republic, a new track for Phoenix World Championship for Phoenix Racing Club, and as we've heard, a new track for a lot of our drivers. So definitely we'll be able to see who is better at adapting, who is better at just learning the track from anew, and definitely will be a challenge for everybody involved. But until then, thank you all so very much for watching, see you in a week, and this is goodbye.